be cheering Let's Go Bucks tonight as the Pirates return home from a Western Road swing to begin a 10-game homestand against the Cincinnati Reds. Hi again, everybody. Along with Steve Glass, I'm Tim Nevitt. Robbie Ince-McCoskey joins us shortly. This is game one of a 3-game set against Cincinnati. It'll be your guy, Captain Hook, throwing the baseball tonight. A lot of curveballs for A.J. Burnett.
Absolutely. You know, A.J.'s been around a long time, and his fastball is plenty good, but he is finding early success in this season with that good breaking curveball downstairs. Now, he's the kind of guy that when he finds a pitch that he can ride, he'll run it as long as it's working. And if it stops working for whatever reason, he can come back with a very much above average fastball. So he's cooking. He's got the curve working. And who else would you want on the first game of a series against the Reds?
He relies heavily on that curveball on 2-strike pitches. He'll have to face this tough Reds lineup. Bruce, Chu, Phillips, and Votto all off to good starts.
Yeah, there's a lot of good hitters in the National League, Tim, for sure. But this is a very, very good hitting Cincinnati Reds team. So the Pirates are going to have their work cut out. They're off to a decent start. And a lot of people feel like they are the cream of the crop in the National League Central Division. So we'll find out what we got to deliver from Mr. Burnett against this lineup tonight.
Burnett was the only pitcher in the game last year to beat the Reds 3 times. He'll oppose Mike Leake tonight for Cincinnati. The Central Division rivals are in the house. Game 1 against Cincinnati coming up at PNC Park. Dusty Baker and Clint Hurdle exchanging lineups and going over the ground rules with the umpiring crew. Game 1 getting set to get underway between the Reds and the Pirates here at PNC Park. And the Pirate dugout spirits are good. As this team, the last time they met the Reds, tempers flared a little bit. last season. A.J. Burnett getting ready to make his third start of the season. For A.J., the runs just haven't been there behind him. One note about A.J.'s first two starts, as well as he has done, striking out 19 over 2 games, the offense has not scored him 1 run while he's been on the hill.
Yeah. That's pitching on the wrong days, that's for sure. And you hate to waste that kind of good pitching. I mean, he basically has made one mistake, realistically, that 2-run home run the first inning of the opening game of the season. So he has done his job, and when you get starting pitchers to do their job, you want to turn those jobs into wins.
Well, a lot's been made about...
It's kind of R-rated, isn't it?
What's that?
What, the tattoos?
I don't know, but it's A.J. Burnett T-shirt night here on a free shirt Friday. Everybody getting an A.J. Burnett T-shirt tonight. There you go, right there.
And you're going to see a lot of jackets and sweaters over them, too, tonight, because it's going to be cold again. The Pirates are back in town. You guys bought... Well, you didn't bring the good weather from the West Coast, but we kept some of the opening series stuff for you.
We talked about, when we opened up the telecast, Steve, about the fact that A.J. Burnett is Captain Hook. His percentage of strikeouts on curveballs, over 68% of his strikeouts come on breaking balls. His whiff percentage, 54.8%. And the opponent average just 105, same with slugging, against the curve.
Well, you know, he's a veteran pitcher, so when he finds a pitch that's working for him, he's going to throw it until he starts getting hurt with it. That's just the way it works. And when he starts getting hurt with it, if he does, if that ever happens, and usually at some point it does, then he'll adjust. He'll go to something else, because his fastball is fine, his changeup is fine. But when you've got a pitch that's cooking, you just keep the pot on the flame.
Well, he has 10 career decisions against Cincinnati. He's even Steven 5-5. He got 3 wins last year. And he also got a loss last year here at PNC Park against the Reds. He was on the wrong side of Homer Bailey's no-hitter.
Again, you're not pitching on the right night.
Dusty Baker has made out his lineup. This is what it looks like tonight. Shin-Soo Choo leads off. He's hitting .371, the new addition, coming over from the Cleveland Indians. A couple of doubles, 3 home runs. He's driven in 6. And manning center field. Heisey, Votto, and Phillips. Votto, Phillips, and Bruce, the heart of the order. Jack Hanahan also coming over from Cleveland, playing third base. Cozart, the shortstop. Devin Mesoraco from Punxsutawney is behind the plate. And Mike Leake doing the pitching, getting set to face A.J. Burnett.
This season, all good, except for the wins and losses. Innings 11, 19 strikeouts, 5 walks. A.J. Burnett has done his job, and you know, you're looking at a rotation right now that has kind of a shaky foundation, because you're looking at the foundation. We're not sure if Wandy Rodriguez is going to start Sunday, and if he doesn't, we don't know who is. But that's Sunday. Tonight, the Pirates want to get off to a good start on this homestand. They're playing 10 games against the Reds, the Cardinals, and Braves. And they're going to have a roll of 20 games in 20 days.
20 and 20.
Yep. Dig your heels in, because we're going to find out a little bit about this ball club in the next 3 weeks.
The next off day for the Pirates is the 2nd of May. Defensively for the Buccos in the outfield, left to right, Starling Marte, Andrew McCutchen, and Travis Snyder goes tonight in front of the Clemente wall. Alvarez, Barmes, Walker, and Jones, and Russell Martin doing the catching. Pedro had an off day 2 days ago in Arizona, and he is back in there tonight to face the right-hander Leake.
There's 2 sides to Mike Leake, and we'll get into that. He can pitch, but he can also hit. And he can also hit and pitch. He can also give up home runs. So maybe 3-dimensional. We'll talk a little bit about that in the bottom of the first inning.
Well, A.J. Burnett trying to get out Shin-Soo Choo. .371 average, 3 homers, 6 runs batted in. And the first pitch of the ball game from A.J. Burnett is low for a ball. 52 degrees, the game time temperature. As it has gone down considerably in the last hour and a half. And a strike is called. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fans having to wear the Jackets tonight? That kind of night. Did you bring a jacket, Steve?
No, I thought spring was here while you guys were away.
Fooled everybody, apparently. That's on the inside corner for a strike, and Jerry Lane, the crew chief, rings that one up. Greg Gibson, Hunter Wendelstedt, and Alan Porter are on the bases.
I'd like to give you a look at the umpires, because it's not the umpires that have to find out about the pitchers. The pitchers have to find the umpire's strike zone. There's the hook.
Did he get him?
And the hook is not going to be called.
Alan Porter says no.
He's gotten a lot of those kind of swings. You won't get the call every time. But AJ is on a roll now where when he's missing, and it's not very often with the curveball, he's missing downstairs, and that's exactly what you want to do.
Two balls, 2 strikes remains the count.
You know, the point I wanted to make is that we show you the home plate umpire, because you as a pitcher have to find out what his strike zone is going to be on a given night. It has nothing to do with what you think the strike zone should be. You've got to adapt it to tonight's home plate umpire, and that's the crew chief, the veteran, Jerry Lane.
2-2 inside, low, 3-2. Shin-Soo Choo, the batter, facing AJ Burnett. Choo, originally from Busan, South Korea, now makes his home in Arizona. Started his big league career for a couple of seasons with Seattle, was with Cleveland ever since. So the Reds, his 3rd ball club. Burnett's payoff. In the air to left field. Circling behind it is Marte, and there's one gone. Pirates made some news prior to the game today, making a roster move as the Pirates designated right-handed pitcher Chris LaRue for assignment. Brian Morris has been recalled from AAA Indianapolis. Clint Hurdle was asked about the roster move earlier today. He said it was based primarily on performance. LaRue just had a tough start to the season. He had a tough finish to spring training. And Morris, while he was told he needed to tighten up some things, the Pirates hope they've tightened up. And he is here tonight and active and ready to go.
Brian off to a very good start in Indianapolis. And he was told when he went down to Indianapolis that, like everybody else, get your act together, because you don't have any 25-man rosters that stay intact.
Chris Heisey behind 0-2, fooled by that Burnett pitch. Heisey's been a staple in the outfield for the Reds over the last few seasons. He is one Red not off to the best start, 161. Oh, 2. And he got it.
With what else? Curveball.
So with that strikeout, AJ Burnett needs 9 more for 2,000 in his career. He could get that tonight.
That is just a dandy curveball. It ends up on the bottom of the strike zone, right around the knees. Looks better halfway in than it does by the time it gets there. It's biting all the way down.
First baseman Joey Votto. Pirates defensively have shifted on him. With 3 men on the right side of the infield. And Clint Barmas, the shortstop, remains alone on the left side. Pedro Alvarez has moved over closest to Neil Walker. 0-1 to Votto. Ball and a strike.
We must be very patient with Jerry Lane. He'll call that strike, and he'll wait till he's ready to call it.
Not in a hurry. And there is a strike. 1-2. Votto has reached base safely by either a hit or a walk or being hit by a pitch in all 9 games so far.
Not too long ago, MVP in the National League, 2010 or 11. There's the hook.
Well, AJ Burnett retires him in order. He strikes out 2. 1, 2, 3 go Votto and the Reds. Burnett got the breaking ball working. And the Pirates coming to bat when we return. good start here tonight. A.J. Burnett already has. Take a look at the Pirates' Toyota lineup. Marte leading off, then Neil Walker batting in the 2 spot, hitting just 103. But against Mike Leake, he's had success. 350 the average, with 4 doubles, a home run, and 9 runs batted in. McCutchen in the 3rd spot. Jones batting cleanup. Russell Martin hitting 5th. Pedro Alvarez 6th. Travis Snyder, then Clint Barmas and Burnett facing the right-hander Mike Leake.
And he is ready to go. He will be making his 2nd start of the season. This young man that came right out of school and came to the big leagues. What a story.
Last big leaguer to do that was Xavier Nady. Now Marte has been outstanding to lead off games. He's had 5 straight multi-hit games. And he's got another base hit to start the ball game. In the 1st inning this season, Starling Marte is 6 for 9 with a walk.
You know, I think it's going to be interesting in this homestand because I think people really want to get excited about this young man with the physical abilities that he has. And if he has a good homestand, you could find yourself looking at a very popular Pittsburgh Pirate early in this season.
Well, think of this, Steve. He's hit safely in 6 straight games in the 1st inning. And when he's done that, not counting tonight, the prior 5, he's come around to score 3 different times. But his average at 6 for 9, 1st inning, leads the majors. And Neil Walker trying to get Marte over and around. Takes ball 1.
Now you take a look at Neil Walker there. The man on the mound for the Cincinnati Reds throws a lot of home runs. Last year he made 30 starts and he gave up 26 home runs. So he's almost given up a home run per start in his major league career. So he is vulnerable to the long ball. And, well, this would be a nice night to get the Pirates into that mode of hitting the ball over the fence at a pace like they did last year. I mean, they hit a ton of home runs last year.
Well, it took the Bucks a while to get one. McCutchen got the first one of the season in Los Angeles, and then Garrett Jones the second one in Arizona. Pirates have been a little behind other teams in the home run department, so no time like the present to start to catch up. And Walker will take that pitch slow. 3-0.
So you've got divided attention for Mike Leake. Yeah, this young man on the mound, he came out of school, came to the Reds, started 22 games out of school, went 8-4. I mean, I have no idea how impressive that is to step out of school into the big leagues and succeed like that. And even the guys that are on that list behind Nady, a lot of them didn't have nearly that kind of success.
There goes Marte. Looked like he had a pretty good jump. Oh, what a big jump for Marte. Beat the throw of Devin Mesoraco easily in the 2nd stolen base for Marte. The jump that Marte got didn't give Mesoraco even a fair chance.
No, you got 7 steps before the catcher, before the pitcher lets go of the ball. You got no chance whatsoever. Easy one. Just as long as you don't overslide there, you're in good shape.
3 balls and no strikes to Walker. And he's on board.
Action. Hey, how about us having action in the 1st inning, except instead of the action the other teams have been having against us?
That's all right. That's all right. Marte displaying one of his tools, speed on the base paths. This guy's also got speed. Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen hit the ball pretty well on the road. He's reached base in 8 of the team's first 9 games, and he's hit safely in 7 of 9. 233, that home run, as we mentioned, coming in L.A. So 2 on and nobody out. Strike call. Now, Steve, the Pirates trying to get the bats going. They did in Arizona. They were stymied in L.A. And hopefully the home cooking here over the next 10 days will help even things out. But they had a 183 combined batting average coming into this game. That's the lowest for any team for the first 9 games of a season since 1921. So historically low. But hopefully turning around now. Again, still early in the season. This is only game 10 with 152 left after tonight.
You look at the history of this rivalry. There's been a lot of offense. When they had the Big Red Machine, we had the Lumber Company. There was a lot of action. Lots and lots of action. Dusty Baker and Chris Spire, Major League player, bench coach.
2-strike count to Andrew McCutchen. Marte at second, Walker at first. And Leake stretch and the 0-2. That's outside. Hoping for a chase that didn't come. McCutchen's home run came Sunday off left-handed Korean pitcher Hyunjin Ryu, who's probably going to turn out to be pretty good for the Dodgers.
It was a good start to that ball game, wasn't it? 2-0 in the first inning.
Yeah. Ryu came with a lot of hype, and he's lived up to it so far. 1-2 pitch. And this one in the air to right. Backing up is Bruce. Marte will tag. Oh, 1 out and a runner at third base. So McCutchen gets the man over. And Marte 90 feet away as Garrett Jones gets set to step in the batter's box.
And Mr. Ryu didn't dazzle anybody with speed Sunday afternoon, but looks like he knows how to pitch for the Dodgers.
Yeah, he does. Well, important to get Marte over to third base with 1 out. Give Jones a chance for an RBI here, a pretty solid chance. Jones with 3 runs batted in on the season, 1 home run. It was a solo shot in Arizona. Hitting .250 is Jones. The home run came Tuesday night. Garrett went 5 for 15 on the 6-game road trip. That's a .333 average. Jones lets that one go for ball 1. Nine for 28 with a home run, a .321 average against Mike Leake. Jones, a good guy to have in the lineup tonight based on his history. He held it up. 2 balls and no strikes. Steve, we've seen the Pirates hitters patient in the early going. It's probably cost them some strikeouts here and there because they've been deep in counts, but the idea is to work the pitcher, and I know from the pitcher's perspective that can irritate you.
Yeah, and it can work both ways too. You get a situation where from a hitter standpoint, a lot of people say, well, you know, wait around and see what you get a chance to look at. But if you get something good right away, take a rip at it, because you can wait around and find yourself behind in the count 0-1, 0-2, and then the whole pendulum swings. So it gets down to almost an individual at bats. You find something you like early, give it a rip.
And this is to the right side. Here comes Marte to the plate, and he's out. Going on contact, an easy play for Joey Votto. 2 men out, runners at first and second. So that's a break for the Reds there. Jones could not get the ball out of the infield.
Easy one hopper to Joey Votto. Comfortable play, and then get out of home plate. Promising beginning here in the bottom of the first. Still time to cash it in.
You get the leadoff man on a stolen base, and not going to get him around, but still an opportunity for Russell Martin. Martin snapped an 0 for 17 start to the season with a double Tuesday in Arizona that bounced on the warning track over the wall for the automatic double. And he hit that ball like a rocket. So hopefully Martin's bat will start coming around. But the frustrating part for the pitcher, Steve's got to be, you probably throw a pitch, pretty good pitch. You think you might get a swing on, it's called a ball, and you're thinking, why didn't he swing at that?
Yep.
And there's some right down the middle, first, second pitch of the at-bat, same thing. You're probably saying, well, give you your chance.
use a pitcher, you're trying to think along with the hitter what he has in his mind. I always thought if people wanted to see a lot of my pitches, go ahead, take a look. You might be behind 0-2.
Leake with a 2-1 count on Russell Martin. Score bottom of the first. Jones at first, Walker at second. 2 men out. Mike Leake ready to deliver. And Martin, base hit to left field. Walker's going to get sent home. Heisey up, his throw's off the mark, and the Bucks lead it 1-0 on a 2-out RBI single by Russell Martin.
That was a real shot in the arm because you had that good-looking opportunity. First 2 men on base in the bottom of the first. It looked like the Reds might get out of it, but that is a very, very feel-good base hit RBI run for the Pirates. And Heisey with not a real strong throw. No issue at home plate.
And look what's back, Steve.
Oh, say it ain't so.
Well, they started that in Arizona again.
Okay, here we go. Hey, as long as it works, I mean, it happens when you're doing good things. I'm all right with that.
As long as you think it works, right? Alvarez ground ball to Brandon Phillips. And Phillips throws out Alvarez. Pirates get a run on 2 hits. They leave 2 and lead it 1-0 after 1.
Inside our North Shore studio, I'm Paul Alexander with this game break. In case you missed it, Dodgers right-hander Zach Greinke, he will be out an undisclosed amount of time after he fractured his collarbone in his altercation with Padres catcher Carlos Quentin last night. The suspension certainly in the works for Quentin. And Tim and Steve, it's a big blow to the Dodgers rotation without their big free agent acquisition.
That's very true, Paul, because you take a look at what they did with him. 6 years, $147 million is on the shelf.
Yeah,
so.
And I don't know these days medically what a broken collarbone will take time-wise, but whatever it is, it's going to be a while, and you want one of your horses to miss that much time. They got pretty active out there at Dodger Stadium.
Got active, that's right. Carlos Quentin actually was approached by Matt Kemp, the Dodgers center fielder, on the way out of the stadium too, which has caused an issue. Brandon Phillips, strike 1. Second baseman hitting cleanup tonight for the Reds, batting .308, .313 against AJ.
The thing was that Quentin was hit just on the shoulder, but apparently there's a history between Greinke and Quentin.
And the 0-1. And this one's belted to deep center field. Going after it, McCutcheon. He is at the wall, and it's a tie ball game. Brandon Phillips crushes one to dead center. His third home run of the season. Second home run on the year given up by Burnett. Phillips erases the Pirate lead just like that.
Well, you know, some people used to wonder why a second baseman was in the cleanup spot. Well, there's an example of what he's capable of. And AJ knows it's gone right there. He knows that that ball has a real good chance of getting out of here. He's throwing it up for them. He knows the sound. Good effort by Andrew, but big swing by Phillips.
There's Jay Bruce. He's a very capable power hitter. Brandon Phillips represented Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. He got into some hot water last year when he accused Jared Hughes of making a racial slur. And they had a little verbal joust on the field. It was proven to be not the case. Caused a big rift for a while.
Well, just to go back to the home run, that was a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Not to say that you can't throw any more fastballs. That's a plenty good fastball. He just got it up out over the plate, and it cost him.
And with 2 strikes, the Pirates defense just went into a shift with Pedro going over to the right side and Barmas alone on the left. So they waited to the 2-strike count and then moved Pedro in between Walker and Barmas. Still getting congratulations in the dugout. A little head rub too. Now the count full to Jay Bruce. Well, Brandon Phillips, I think, is one of those guys, Steve, that if he's on your club, you really like him.
And if he's not, well, you know the rest of the story.
We have seen him nonchalant some plays. In fact, one last year that actually cost the Reds the game. There's a strikeout. Strike 3 looking. 3 strikeouts in the game now for AJ as Bruce sits down, 1 gone.
And there have been some situations as you take a look at this call, 3rd strike. Yeah, go back to the fastball. That's all right. It's a plenty good fastball. But going back to Phillips, there have been a couple occasions where he has taken his time and some theatrics going around after a home run, running the bases. No pitcher or ex-pitcher likes to watch that.
AJ needs 7 more to get to 2,000. Pitch to Jack Hanahan, the former Cleveland Indian, is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. And this tweet coming in, and you can tweet us at Root Sports Pit and use the hashtag BucksBooth. That'll get it right into the TV truck, and also we've got it up here in the booth tonight so we can see them come in as they do. Tell us how you like Steve's nickname for AJ Burnett, Captain Hook. Play for the Pirates, you got to be Captain Hook.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Most of it fits, except it's a little sensitive phrase for pitchers because that's when the manager takes you out. Yeah. Sparky Anderson, former Reds manager, was known as Captain Hook for his quick removal of pitchers.
Well, there is.
How about that?
There's
Going
a
to ball
pair
game and texting.
There's a pair that beats a straight right there.
Yeah. I didn't know Pirates could text.
Probably checking his investments on a smartphone. 2-1 to Hanahan. 3-1.
How many doubloons he's got in the chest? Pieces of 8. 8.
Zach Cozart, shortstop, waiting on deck. So here is AJ's 3-1. missed ball 4, and the base runner for Cincinnati heads down to first base. Tonight's Barrel Automotive League leaders stat. Early National League leaders in strikeouts coming into action tonight. Jeff Samardzija of the Cubs leads everybody. Burnett and Matt Harvey of the Mets tied. Well, now Burnett's untied him. He's got 22 and has tied Samardzija. Kershaw and Johnny Cueto, who the Pirates will see tomorrow. Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. Cozart, he's got some surprising pop at times.
A couple of home runs already.
Yeah. Friday's 15-0 win against the Washington Nationals. Cozart and Todd Frazier. Frazier's not playing third tonight. Became the first shortstop third base tandem in Reds franchise history. And that goes all the way back to 1869. So Cozart and Frazier each hit 2 home runs in the same game. They were the first guys to do it in the same game for a National League team. Since when, Steve?
1971.
That's right. Jackie Hernandez and Richie Hebner did it.
Jackie Hernandez went deep twice in one game. Hallelujah. Doesn't happen too often. The third baseman has the capabilities. Not too many shortstops go deep twice in the game.
Hanahan gets back. Look at the Riverwalk tonight, which is turning out to be a crisp evening on the North Shore. 1-1, a wave and a miss. That's 1-2 to Cozart.
I don't know whether that was the Captain Hook curveball or maybe just a changeup. Something off speed had him out in front. Let's check it out. Good break. I don't know yet. A little twist to it.
And the 1-2 from AJ. He got him. Strikeout number 4 for Burnett. 2 men out in the Reds' second.
There's a percentage of these swing and misses at curveballs that would be called a ball down underneath the strike zone, but when they get halfway there, they're still looking like they're going to be knee high. That's where they end up. That's where a lot of those swings have been missing, right over the top.
Well, Ben 2946, probably a personal friend of yours, Steve.
Ben.
He likes the name. Steve was so busy preparing before the game, he did take 10 minutes out to tweet for a while.
Yeah. Now I'll go down the next time I see AJ. He'll say, "What is that? That's all you think I got is a curveball? Come on!" So I'm going to have to be ready for that.
You can handle it. 1-1 to Devin Mesoraco, the pride of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Punxsy Devin, not Punxsy Phil.
A lot of folks making their way from Punxsy to see the Reds when they come in because they want to see that guy play. Two balls and a strike. They call him Mez.
Not Maz, Mez.
Oh, Mez.
Yep.
Only one Maz.
Yep. There's only one Mez.
Well, it might be another one. We don't know him, though. There's a strike.
Well, we had Lee Mazzilli over here late in his career. They called him Maz.
Yeah, that was with a lowercase m.
Yeah, and maybe 2 Z's.
Yeah. Another Parrott trying to stay warm. Frost on his wings.
He'll get confused and go south again.
This one gets away from Martin and down to second base goes Hanahan.
And as we said, it's not automatic you pitch around the number 8 guy in this lineup because Mike Leake can flat swing the bat.
Wild pitch for AJ. So Martin slides well to his right. Very athletic catcher.
That's what you want to do. Slide as much of your body and equipment over that way. And whatever stops the ball, that's good. Doesn't matter what.
2 outs and the payoff pitch. That's ball 4. Second walk of the inning. This will bring up the pitcher, Mike Leake.
Well, with the open base, he could afford to try the curveball. This one was too low, and Mez was not taking a swing at it.
So getting set to face Leake. And Leake has 46 career base hits. Now,
that's in a short period of time.
That's the most by any major league pitcher over the last 4 seasons, including this year. Now, twice in his career, he's led the National League pitchers in batting average. And he's had a 3-hit game, too. That was in 2010 on the 9th of July against Philadelphia. And he's had 8 career multi-hit games. So not afraid to swing the bat. In fact, when he was in college at Arizona State, on days he didn't pitch, he would DH. Started his career as a closer at Arizona State. Then they decided they had something special there. Made him a starter. Went out and won 13 of 15 games.
Good athlete.
Brandon Phillips with the home run.
Another good athlete.
Lead off the inning. Tied the game at a run apiece. 1-0 pitch to Leake. That's on the corner. Jay Burnett making his 13th career start against Cincinnati. It's low, and it's 2-1.
Very tidy top of the first inning. Fly ball, strikeout, strikeout. Now AJ's thrown a bunch of pitches here in the second inning. Minimal damage to this point.
This one looped into short right field. Here comes Snyder on the run. He'll make the catch. And the side retired, but the home run by Brandon Phillips, given up by A.J. Burnett, ties the game at 1.
Pirates and Reds tied at 1. I'm Robbie Inchmikowski. Today is a very special day for the assistant hitting coach for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Jeff Branson. Is 21 years ago today, he made his major league debut as a member of the Cincinnati Reds, and that's today's Day Automotive this day in baseball history, making his MLB debut. A nice shot of Branson. I asked him what he remembered most about that day. He said two things stuck out. He remembered Bill Doran, who was one of his idols growing up, asked him if he wanted a ride to the ballpark. They happened in Houston, by the way, at the old Astrodome against the Astros. He said, "Why, yes, sir, I would love a ride to the ballpark with you as well." And he said he remembers being part of a double switch late in the game, and the first ball that was put in play was hit right to him at third base. And he said his arm felt like a water hose. He didn't know which way it was going to go. And he threw to Hal Morris, who's a very tall first baseman, if you remember, Tim and Steve. And he said, had Hal Morris not been as tall as he was and been able to jump as high as he did, that ball would have went 7 rows deep in the stands in his first ever play. Luckily, it didn't.
And Snyder toward the middle. Oh, what a stop by Cozart. And off the bag is Votto. And safe is Snyder to lead off the Pirates' second. Terrific play by Cozart just to get to it and make a throw. That ball was ticketed for center field, but Votto couldn't hold the bag, and Snyder aboard.
Great play to get the leather on the ball, and they'll probably award a base hit degree of difficulty, but that was a great stop. No hesitation, easy call, base hit. Kuzmanich, seen that play a while, or not a while, many times.
Barmas. This one goes to the backstop and down to second base. Goes Travis Snyder. So the Pirates have the go-ahead run in scoring position already in the second with nobody out.
That could be. It doesn't matter. Really makes no difference. We got a man at second, but that was right off the glove. That's got to be a pass ball.
It is. Pass ball charged to Devin Mesoraco. Snyder getting a start tonight. He's appeared in all 10 games one way or another, either as a starter or a pinch hitter. Defensive replacement one game. And he was a guy they figured would be the opening day right fielder, but Gabby Sanchez hitting the ball so well at first, and Garrett Jones hitting the ball well. Pirates wanted to get both of them in the lineup for the first few games. That's the way the opening day tandem went. Sanchez at first and Jones in right. Snyder coming off the bench. Pirates traded for Snyder last year at the deadline from Toronto, sending Brad Lincoln to the Blue Jays to get him. Former first-round pick. 2 balls and a strike to the Pirates shortstop, Clint Barmas.
The Reds trying to help the Pirates out, even though it was a nice stop by Cozart. A good throw would have gotten that first out, and the wild pitch, so we're in business.
Mike Leake ready. A couple of looks at second. 2-1 to Barmas, and this one's looped to center field. That's going to drop for a hit. And Snyder had to wait to make sure that Shin-Soo Choo wasn't going to run underneath that ball, so he stopped for a bit before he took off. But with a base hit by Barmas, the Pirates have runners at the corners with nobody out.
And A.J. Burnett will go into conference with third base coach Nick Leyva with runners at first and third, nobody out. He just hit it badly enough where it dropped out and didn't get far enough to be caught. Travis got to make sure. It's good. Yeah, okay, we're okay. Just plenty of time to drift over to third base in those scenarios.
Snyder representing the go-ahead run, and for A.J. Burnett,
I would take a B button.
Yeah, whatever you can to stay out of the double play. Try to get Barmas over to second base. Corners are in for Cincinnati. A.J. puts it out in front of the mound.
Perfecto.
Phillips with the put out at first base. Sacrifice bunt. And now the Pirates with 2 men in scoring position and 1 out. Fans, tomorrow's Pirates game against the Reds will be a special Root Sports production on MLB Network. So at 7 p.m. when you tune into MLB Network for your Buccos, you'll still be able to hear the game called by Greg Brown, Steve Blass, and Robbie will be there too. And you'll get Pirates analysis from Root Sports sideline guy Robbie Innsmikowski. Visit rootsports.com for channel listings and more information. Kind of the way it's going to go, and there's a Pens conflict here. That you just tuned to MLB Network to get baseball.
Well, let's get word down to Starling Marte. This is still the first inning. He does real good things, a lot of good things in the first inning.
See what Marte can do.
So part of it. So far, this young man has been as advertised.
Got to have a foam finger. Snyder, the guy who can unbreak this 1-1 tie. Marte can get him around. Here's hit safely in the leadoff spot to start the first inning in 6 straight games. Zarocco sets up way inside. That's where that one goes.
Now, this is the kind of situation, Tim, where you want to get at least one run out of this. You want to get the ball out of the infield. But also, in the big picture, this could be the beginning of a big inning, a big opportunity, because you're back up at the top of the lineup. And you could turn this into a lot of action. But, you know, bottom line, you need to get at least one of these guys in.
That hit him. Marte is hit by the pitch. And now the bases are full of Bucks.
Trying to come inside as he did on the previous pitch. Gets him on the thigh. He's got the bases loaded. That's the good news. The bad news, you got a double play scenario for the Cincinnati Reds now. So, Neil, same thing for you. Do what you can to get the ball out of the infield.
Walker scored the first run of the ball game. He hits Mike Leake pretty well. Walker made his major league debut against the Reds, and then remember the first time he had a chance to get a hit, he was robbed by Brandon Phillips. It was in Cincinnati in September, and Neil hit a rocket, looked like it was going through the right side of the infield, but Phillips made an above average play on him to rob him. He also got his first career RBI against the Reds, and it came off the guy he's facing right now, Mike Leake. May 25th, 2010. Oh, he's right down the line in Cincinnati again. Walker get up safely at second base. It would be nice now with the bases full if he could repeat the feat.
Yeah, I'd like him to hit it just like he did there down in the right field corner. That worked very nicely. A lot of speed at first base.
To center field, a base hit. Snyder will score. Here comes Barmison right behind him. Marte safe at third. Walker safe at second. Pirates lead it 3-1.
And that ball was tattooed because it wasn't that far away from the glove of Kosar. It was just hit so hard it got into center field. And then Chu compounded the problem by trying to make a play at third base where he had no play. And Neil Walker was able to cruise on into second base. So all good things happened on that one delivery to Neil Walker.
Walker with a base hit. He goes down to second on the throw. And the fans love this. Yeah, especially when the hometown guy gets it done.
Oh, yeah. And that's what we're talking about. It's just not an opportunity to get a run and do what you need to do to get the ball to the infield. But now you got things going where you can keep it going, and you got a big-time opportunity for a big-time inning. You've already got one crooked number up there, the 2, and a chance for more, and right where you want to be in the batting order. Now, what do you want to do with Andrew McCutchen? With the lack of offense the Pirates have been showing, pretty much, you see the opportunity, perhaps the temptation to work around it. But looks like they're setting up to pitch to Andrew.
5 hits for the Pirates so far in the ballgame. Marte is at third, Walker at second, Leake the pitch. 0-1 to Andrew. watch him because of the seasons he's had. The last couple has really become a popular player on the national scene, not just here in Pittsburgh. He was popular before then. There's a base hit and maybe more. Marte's going to score. Around third and heading to the plate is Walker. 2 more runs in. Puck stops at first. It's a 5-1 Pirate lead.
Start number 2 for Mike Leake. The first one didn't go all that well, and this one doesn't have a good start as Andrew finds a ball down into the left field corner, which makes it very easy for both runners to score, and all that the Pirates have going on now is a lot of offense.
Walker scoring for the second time in as many innings. Garrett Jones batting with 1 out. And he's got himself a hit.
It's contagious. Now with that going on, the bullpen phone's got to be ringing for Cincinnati. Not that they're going to make a change, but just in case this continues. Well, let me tell you that Mike Leake primarily a fastball hitter, and the Pirates bats are finding a lot of very hittable fastballs, primarily up in the zone.
7th hit for the Pirates. 1 out in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Good display right now. They hope to keep it going. Russell Martin came up with an RBI single in the 1st inning. And now some stirring in the Cincinnati bullpen. Early action in the Reds' pen. Mike Leake delivering to Russell Martin, who takes the ball.
Trying to get that fastball downstairs more. He's been up in the zone. Mike Leake is not a power guy. Knows what he's doing, knows how to pitch, but that 90-mile-an-hour fastball doesn't get it when it's up in the zone.
Well, Mike Leake's been good in April in 2010 and 2011, unbeaten in those 2 years, but it's been the opposite for him last season, and so far this season he's 0-3, and his ERA has almost doubled. So what a difference 2 years makes during the month of April, the season's first month. So and he's behind the 8 ball here again. Three 3-0 to Martin.
That first start for him this year against Washington, 6 innings, 4 runs given up.
And he gave up home runs in that game to Wilson Ramos and Bryce Harper.
By the way, hit another one tonight.
Pretty good, isn't he?
He is good. He is good indeed.
That's leading Atlanta 4-0. 3rd inning. 3-1 to Martin. Cubs needed a walk-off hit to beat San Francisco earlier today, 4-3. Alfredo Simon loosening up.
Just what we need on a Friday night, some hot bats on a cold night.
Martin down to 3rd. Phillips the turn. And that's a double play around the horn. Ends the inning, but the Pirates put up 4 runs on 5 hits. As the Bucks swinging the bats. Now lead it 5-1.
Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks.
Back at PNC Park, 5-1 Pirate lead. We start the third inning. Robbie Mikowski and Steve Blass. I'm Tim Everett. Yep, could be blanket weather tonight. Definitely t-shirt weather. Not for those guys, though. That's paint weather. But they're missing a letter. It looks like the other C went out to get something.
A sweater.
Yeah. But it is Free Shirt Friday. A.J. Burnett t-shirts tonight.
Yep. Those guys... Yeah, we just heard from the truck. Why don't those guys have the AJ T-shirts? Good point.
I'm sure they'll be putting something on very shortly. As Shin-Soo Choo grounds it to Burnett. And the quick flip to Jones covering. One pitch and one away. And Choo is 0 for 2.
Didn't know whether AJ was going to just go ahead and try to make the tag on Choo or flip it over to first base. Sometimes these can get a little testy. You don't know quite what to do, when to do it. Yeah. It's always good to pick up the ball and throw it. You know, you don't really know where the runner is exactly because you're concentrating on picking up the ball. So you know where first base is. Get the ball, get it to first base, and get out of the way.
Left fielder Chris Heisey takes the ball.
Oh, he's going to throw a circle change with that grip. He almost didn't get it out of his hand.
It's a thumber.
Yep.
1-1. He's got a better grip on the T-shirt.
Yeah.
The pose that he's done on the T-shirt like this, pretty good.
Looks like a takeoff on the Pancho Villa gun belts around the chest.
The first C is calling the other C. So the other C is missing in action.
Yeah. So they're talking about you on television.
Yeah.
Get your C down here.
He's saying, okay, there. Now they got it.
They almost got it.
They made some sort of attempt. That's false hustle on their part. One-two to Heisey.
They get a C for effort, not an A.
That is strikeout number 5 for A.J. Burnett. He's halfway to 10, which would get him 2,000.
First game he had 10. Last start he had 9, and he's on his way to those kind of figures again tonight. Look at him wrap that curveball. That thing is back in that hand.
Good to see the Pirates getting some runs for him early. They want to continue to get runs, obviously, and add on. But as I mentioned earlier, they didn't get a single run for him in his first 2 starts while he was still on the hill. Well, Joey Votto gets a 2-out base hit, and he's going to get his hits.
Yeah, he's good, and he's not above going the opposite way. He's got great power, but he's not unwilling to go the opposite way and just take what the pitcher gives you. Yeah.
Trying to go against the shift.
Hopefully a good hitter. Interesting way to lead off first base with something in your mouth.
Just making a snack out of that thing.
Wrist guard or something. Good grab for Russell Martin. And AJ's throwing a lot of curveballs. There's going to be a fair number of curveballs that are going to be in the dirt that have to be blocked. Simple as that.
Phillips with a solo home run, his 3rd of the year in the 2nd inning.
We talked about some of the things that will put you off a little bit with Brandon Phillips. One of them is the way he runs around the bases on a home run. Of course, no pitcher likes to see anything like that.
Again, he's the guy that if he's on your club, you love him. If not, it's a different side of the coin. There's a strike. That's 1-2 now. But he plays hard, and he's an all-star level guy.
He's a very good baseball
Gold Glove level fielder.
Very, very good baseball player.
Does very well for Cincinnati. And I guess maybe when you're in the division, you play each other 19 times. You get enough of each other from time to time.
A little picky, little edgy.
Yeah. Well, this is the home run. He clobbered this one.
Got a lot of it. And coming around third base. Now, I don't know. I'm assuming it's not directed toward the Pirate dugout, but it is coming around third base. It might just be directed to whatever.
There's a strikeout. The ball comes right back to Russell Martin, who makes the throw. 2-3 the put-out. Strikeout number 6 for A.J. Burnett. Oh, lucky bounce. Russell Martin knows it.
On the rocks. A good-looking line score, too.
Yeah. 5-7-0 for the Pirates, 2-0 for the Reds. And Pedro Alvarez will lead off against Mike Lee. You might need a hat like that. You own a hat like that, don't you, Steve?
Yeah, but apparently the color is mixed up. Mine's a neon orange.
Oh, I saw you in one of those last season.
I did, yeah.
I know you've got one of those.
I do, somewhere.
Looks warm, too. Well, see, it's a popular hat.
It is.
Comes the 1-1. Pedro pulls it to the right side. Votto's got it. He'll handle it himself. And Pedro starts the night 0 for 2. Pirates Charities inviting runners and Pirates fans of all ages to the Pittsburgh Pirates 5K home run presented by Service Link. Better hurry. It's tomorrow morning starting at 8 a.m. The race tours the North Shore and finishes on the field here at PNC Park. Plus, families can participate in the 1 mile family fun run. All proceeds benefiting Pirates Charities. Come down tomorrow and register for the 5K home run. Log on to pirates.com/5K home run for more information. Root Sports is going to have their own entry, their own team.
I tried out for that group and I didn't make the cut.
Really? I had planned on doing it this year and hamstring problem. Yeah, it's a good excuse, but legitimate. Snyder, 2 balls and a strike. It's way inside. Snyder didn't like it. Snyder had a base hit, scored a run in the second inning. 1 for 1 tonight. Neil Walker came up with a big hit. 2-run single in the second. Talking to Michael McHenry, the fort.
What about that? What about that bonnet? You're on me about my hat. What about that?
It's a good looking cap.
You taking leave of your senses?
It's a Bon Chapeau. It's a good hat. Looks good on the fort. It's a good listening hat because he's not doing any talking.
A little more traditional. You're supposed to have the bottoms turned up. Now that could be used driving a horse down at the Meadows.
Clint Barmas 1 for 1. Had a base hit to center field. I never thought about that. To have to be used for that particular type.
Well, all things are possible.
There goes Snyder, and Barmas fouls it off.
Get a piece of Mesoraco. Yeah.
And right through.
Up by the elbow. Maybe on the side.
On the meat of the forearm. Well, these guys have all kinds of things happen to them back there. He's looking over at the dugout to see how they're going to play Snyder. We talk about it from time to time. You see catchers look over to the dugout. They don't call pitches at this level. Not getting a pitch call. They're seeing what they're going to do with the guy on base.
So far, Tim, we're fooling around with tips to win this ball game for the Pirates. Get ahead early, don't fall behind like they have been. Get to leak a little bit, and then Captain Hook. So we're cooking on 3 cylinders so far.
Barnes hangs in there. That's good. You had your tips to win before the game started tonight. And they're still coming in. I see Pirates president Frank Cooley over there by the fire. You don't become the president
location.
Not knowing where to be on a cool night.
Yep. I tell you, Frank's got it going. He liked the tiki bar he saw at another ballpark in spring training, so we have one at Braden, and now he knows where the heaters are. That's why he's the prez.
Yeah, the Budweiser Bow Tie Bar is a great place to go. You can book a group out there or just go out there during the game yourself and enjoy a dining experience. You know, it's got great views of the city from over there as well as the ballpark. It's really a neat location.
That's right. You can enjoy the ball game or in-town movie set across the river.
Allegheny took on a lot of water, a lot of stuff stirred up, and it was a shade of brown today because of all the
rain. We had some
dirt that was stirred up.
Good rain last couple of days.
One-two to Clint Barmas. Down to third. Cozart. To Phillips. And that's 2. Second twin killing by the Reds. And we will head to the 4th. 5-1 Pirates.
Sports is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks.
In the minor leagues tonight, Jameson Taillon pitching for the Altoona Curve against Harrisburg. 6 innings, 2 runs on 5 hits. He walked 3 but struck out 10.
Liking it.
I like it. He's a young power right-hander with a big curveball. 5-1 Pirates. Kids like it.
Pretty city, pretty score.
Kids like it. Parents like it.
Everybody's happy tonight.
Even the hats like it.
We have a wide range of bonnets tonight. It's a bonnet night.
There you go. That's the one that you see around town more now than ever.
That's the business one right there. Speaking of bonnets, well, Scott Bonnet's doing all right tonight. Pirates clubhouse man.
Jay Bruce rolls a single up the middle, leadoff single for the Reds. Bruce is 1 for 2 after striking out looking in the 2nd inning. Burnett will face Jack Hanahan. Hanahan walked first time up. First start of the season tonight for Hanahan. He's actually tied for the major league lead in the early part of the season in pinch hits. He has 3 of them. Mark Kotsay and Lance Nix also have 3. Bruce gets back.
Just 3 stolen bases for the Reds so far this year. Jay Bruce has tried it once and was thrown out.
This one to left. That's going to get down, and Hanahan's got himself a base hit. And the Reds have set up shop. 1st and 2nd, nobody out. There's a field base hit for Hanahan.
Not similar to the base hit that we saw off the bat of Joey Votto. Fastball outside, just take it out that way. Don't try to turn it around. Get yourself a knock.
A situation like this, Steve, a few years back, 5 seasons ago, as a matter of fact, in Cincinnati, on this day, the 12th of April, the Reds had 2 on and nobody out. Dusty Baker decided to send them, and Edwin Encarnacion of the Reds lined to Jack Wilson for 1 out. Then he flipped it over to second baseman Freddie Sanchez for another, back to Adam LaRoche at first. The last time the Pirates executed a triple play was April 12th, 2009. A situation like this.
Fits. Yeah, this could be the opportunity we've been waiting for. Yeah. This is just a setup.
Hitting coach Jay Bell likes what he sees tonight. Now, see, that's what AJ does there. And Steve was showing me how to do that earlier. How do you do that? You go like this? Is that it? This is the best way to do it, right?
Yep.
Working on it. That one's in the dirt.
Good block.
So is this the right way, Steve? I'm just trying to figure it out.
Well, you can go either way. You can do that or that. When we're ahead, you do this.
Okay.
When we're behind.
Which arm has to be in front? I don't know. You're the expert on what pitchers do.
See, that's the advantage you have as opposed to the Zoltan. You can set it up either way.
Ball and 2 strikes to Zach Cozart. But Cozart struck out last time. AJ trying to get him again here. This time it's just foul. Well, we take you back. Going to the Wayback Machine, not all that far back, 5 seasons ago. Great American Ballpark. See the runners are going. And a nice play here by Wilson. To Sanchez, to LaRoche, 1, 2, 3, they go.
You won't have an easier triple play ever
Sajak in Los Angeles, who was out watching BP with his son for one of the games. Little roller down to third base. Alvarez gloves. He's got Kozar to first base for the out. But two men move up. Bruce down to third. And Hanahan moves over to second base.
Now this gets interesting now because you're down at the bottom of the order. It's a National League, the way the game should be played. You've got a guy in the number 8 spot, and then you got your pitcher. So you've got the script kind of set up because of that ground ball that stayed in the infield. You got the out. You could wiggle yourself out of this thing.
Zaracco walked. He takes the ball outside here. One ball and no strikes.
Now you're thinking fastball here because even if you lose him, Leake represents the second out, and then after that you can get a conventional out. But you're looking not to let Devin Mesoraco hurt you and set up the opportunity to leave these runners at second and third, either with Leake involved or with Chu at the top of the batting order.
That one down low, 2-0. There's Leake. AJ taking his time out there, ready to deliver the 2-0 pitch. And a ground ball to third. Pedro will trade the out for the run. It's now 5-2. Bruce comes in to score, 2 down, and the runner at second base, Hanahan, stays put.
I was wondering, because the ball was hit so sharply, if they might have thought about coming home. Boy, he never looked. He made his commitment that he was going to first base. I think they had like a 50-50 shot at home to take the second out, and on we go.
Bruce with the leadoff single eventually comes around, and he's in. A pair of ground outs to Alvarez. Now with 2 outs, Hanahan in scoring position. Mike Leake 0 for 1. He flied to right field in the second inning to end it. Big cut. That's a wild pitch, and down to third base goes Hanahan.
And it has been a challenging night so far for Russell Martin back at home plate with that breaking ball. You hold on to those curveballs a little too long, and they're all over the place. Plus, when they hit, they have that spin. They have that curveball spin. And it sounds funny, but that spin can take the ball either way.
Hanahan took a pretty big turn, and Burnett a little hard to get into the plate. One and two.
Now, with Leake being a pretty good hitting pitcher, you just got the second strike with the fastball. Do you try to put him away and put him to sleep with the curveball, knowing that you got a runner at third base, you get it down into the dirt?
And he struck him out.
Yep.
There it is. He's got to throw down, picking it out of the dirt, first base open. So strikeout number 7 for A.J. Burnett. Run comes in for the Reds, but the Bucks lead it 5-2. It's hoodie weather here at PNC Park. Didn't start out that way, but temperature dipping just a bit tonight. 5-2. Pirates with the lead going to the bottom of the fourth inning. Robbie Ince-Mikowski and Steve Blass. I'm Tim Neverett. I'm glad you're along watching, no matter where you are, on a P-shirt Friday night.
This is the most hot chocolate I've had in an April in a long time.
I know. It's a lot.
It is.
Too much. A.J. Burnett leads off. Burnett had a successful sacrifice bunt in the second inning. 1 ball and 1 strike to A.J. Down to third. Cozart goes a short hop, throws him out. 1 out quickly in the Pirate half of the fourth inning. Jack Hanahan getting an opportunity to play tonight. Todd Frazier, normally the starting third baseman, but Hanahan getting the opportunity tonight. Dusty Baker wanting to go with Hanahan. They got him for a reason. He wants to play him. Last few years, you got used to seeing Scott Rowland down there. Veteran player.
Yep.
Put up some great numbers in the big leagues in the time that he played. He's not playing now.
What's that old phrase? Nobody plays forever.
Is that an old phrase?
For older players, yeah.
2-0 to Marte.
I don't think it's ever easy to give it up after you've been having that be part of your life since you're about 8 or 9 years old.
I think the reality of it, that when that moment arrives, I think as a player, Steve, you probably sense when the moment is arriving, but then it actually gets there, and that's got to be a bit shocking.
It is. It is. And making the decision to realize it is time. You hate to give it up, something you've loved for so long, but everybody has to. I think the high percentage of people make it at arguably the right time. Some haven't. I remember thinking it was kind of sad to watch Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays play too long, trying to play first base. So, yeah, it's not easy, and it's almost a relief sometimes when it happens. But then you sit back and say, "Boy, I'm not part of it anymore." And that's it's a big adjustment to make. It is really a big adjustment.
Marte down to third, and there's Hanahan again. 2 gone. 3 on the putout. Remax presents Zambelli Fireworks after the Bucks host the Reds tomorrow at 7:05. Stay after the game as fireworks will light up the beautiful Pittsburgh skyline. It's also an Eaton Park Scratch and Win Saturday. All fans get a scratch card, good for prizes from Eaton Park. For tickets, go to pirates.com. Fireworks tomorrow night, and you'll see the reflections of the fireworks off those buildings, and there's really not much like that. You see fireworks at other ballparks, and it's nothing compared to what they're like here.
The noise and the colors bounce off these buildings. It is spectacular.
Walker, that's into right field. And that'll be a base hit for Neal. He's 2 for 2.
And that basically overpowered Joey Votto at first base. That ball was tattooed.
Now, when Neal got up before with the bases loaded, he was 15 for 31 career with the bases loaded with 1 grand slam. He's now 16 for 32 with them full, and then comes back with nobody on and gets a base hit here.
How good is that? You know, we talk about getting out of the game. What about getting into the game? I think it was 4 days ago when Branch Rickey brought Jackie Robinson to the major leagues.
The anniversary.
A point of history in baseball for sure. And I'm looking forward to seeing that 42 movie.
It's getting terrific reviews.
Yep. You guys go on the road soon so I can watch it?
Yeah, just you got to wait 9 more days, Steve. 9 more days, and then you can have a whole 10 days.
I'll watch it 10 times.
You can watch it 10 times if you'd like.
I'll be watching the Buccos like I did on this last trip.
One ball and 1 strike.
I watched Andrew McCutchen, what was it, Sunday afternoon, top of the first inning, hit a ball out of the ballpark. And then I believe that was all the Pirates got.
The L.A. portion of the road trip Didn't turn out too well.
No, sure didn't.
Loop to left, and waiting for it is Heisey. No runs, a hit, one left. On to inning number 5 at PNC Park. McCutcheon and the Bucks up 5-2. Makes the save in the first round of the 1991 playoffs against the Devils to keep the Penn Stanley Cup hopes alive. Here from Frank Pietrangelo, Phil Bourque, Bob Airy, Peter Taglianetti, and Paul Steigerwald while you relive this memorable Game 6 Sunday Night Classics. The Save, Sunday at 8 on Root Sports. There it is.
Hey, how about my Connecticut guys playing for the Frozen Four championship?
You got Yale and Quinnipiac. Constitution State well represented.
Quinnipiac and Tyler too.
Over at Consol Energy Center, the national semifinals last night, the national championship game tomorrow night, off night. A bunch of folks who are involved in that at the ballpark tonight. 0-2.
2-2. Sounds like I'm getting ready to sneeze.
Gesundheit. Here's the 0-2 on the way. It's chopped. It's a foul.
Just leaning on that curveball. A.J. Burnett. I had a long talk with Bruce Keeson down in spring training, former Pirate pitcher and scouting now for Baltimore Orioles. And he is convinced that not a lot of big league hitters are very good. There aren't many good curveball hitters, let's put it that way. And, AJ has piggybacked that theory.
Now Bruce sees how much baseball these days? A ton.
A ton. All over.
We'll see him up here several times during the summer. And he travels all over. Scouting every night.
He's convinced not that many good curveball hitters.
There it is. Another strikeout. That's strikeout number 8 for Burnett.
And if people were wondering when A.J. Burnett came over from the New York Yankees and Pittsburgh Pirates if he had anything left, well, keep watching, because he does have a lot left. And again, talking about before the game, early in the game, if something's working, ride it.
Nice, he pops this one foul and out of play.
Kind of, you'll get your outs and you'll get some strikeouts with the second and third pitches, so-called second and third pitches. But when it's meat and potato times, you'll get those swings and misses with the breaking ball. Show them the other stuff, and they're swinging and missing the curveball. Use the other stuff as setup pitches.
0-2.
I mean, it's almost amusing the way that everybody's swinging and missing at these low curveballs.
A.J. Burnett.
I guess impressive would be a better word than I'm using. Almost there, and that was so bad he was able to back off at the last second. But, a lot of these strikeouts, on what, 8 now? He's got 27 strikeouts on the year. Have been on pitches out of the strike zone. The curveball, not only good curveballs, but curveballs down out of the strike zone. Pitches that would be called balls.
Still going for that outside part, trying to get Heisey to dive and swing for it. 2-2 the count. What Burnett comes back with here. Burnett's 2-2 pitch. He'll do it again. So Martin's got the sign down and AJ ready to go.
Hat trick? No.
This one to short left field. Here comes Martel. He'll make the catch for the second out. So while we have a moment, let's say a quick happy birthday to Donald Iggy Wisniewski. He's a 4 handicap in golf and a big Bucko fan watching tonight in Gibsonia.
Boy, he can give us a lot of strokes, a lot of shots. We'll play him.
You play him?
Play anybody if they give you enough shots.
Wouldn't be your first rodeo.
I have no shame, too. I'll take all the strokes I can get.
Shift on for Votto. A base hit last time up. He's batting with 2 outs and nobody on. 1 ball, no strike count. Sure, by the time we head out on the road again next, the weather is going to be much nicer for you to play golf.
Yeah. Well, you know, actually, I played yesterday with a good friend of mine, David Gilpatrick, who, by the way, drilled me right in the middle of the back with a 4-wood.
He did.
He didn't hit the ball.
Did you charge the mound?
No,
Did you charge the tee box?
I didn't, but he didn't even hit the ball. He just flat out hit me with a 4-wood. Recovered to win the money.
I thought you just played for entertainment purposes only.
That wasn't very entertaining. No, actually, it wasn't as bad as I just said it was. But I had a good time with David and my friend Larry Lebowitz and David Burks.
Inside the Vaughn.
Close.
It's 3-1. Over the course of the season, this guy is something to watch. Just didn't back up enough.
It's a dangerous territory in there. But if you miss, you want to miss in toward the batter, not out over the plate.
It's ball 4, 2-out walk to Votto.
Third issued against 8 strikeouts from AJ.
See Martin bringing it up right at the end, but looks, according to the Range Resources strike zone, like it just caught the bottom of the strike zone.
Could have got the call.
There he goes. Snacking on the equipment again.
Joey Votto is signed through 2024.
Employment is not an issue with Joey Votto.
Looking forward, hopefully, get a chance to sit down with Joey Votto.
See, that is just that's a mess.
That is. Is that cotton candy gone wild?
Now it's 0-2.
Probably hard to keep cotton candy puffy in this kind of weather. It's starting to freeze up. Joey Votto, what is it, 2 years ago MVP? National League.
2010 season.
A little bit, he had an injury last year that kept him out for a while. Still had a good year. Numbers are good.
First base umpire Greg Gibson. It's 1-2 to Brandon Phillips.
How close? Pretty legitimate call.
AJ will try to come back and get him here. Auto off of first, 2 down. And AJ's 1-2 delivery. In the air to right center. Snyder takes care of that. And the Reds are done in the 5th inning. AJ Burnett doing a good job tonight.
Got it. Site of this year's Frozen Four. I'm Robbie Mikowski, joined by Dan Myers, an assistant coach with Quinnipiac, who tomorrow will play for all the marbles against Yale. Your first time here, a couple of you guys from the staff here at PNC Park. How are you enjoying the experience so far in Pittsburgh this weekend, Dan?
It's a fabulous experience. I mean, the town is awesome. It's my first time here, and we've been exploring it all week. And obviously the ballpark's great. We're here to win some hockey games, but it's been really nice kind of soaking it all in a beautiful city. Speaking
of trying to win it all, you're 1 win away. What can we expect to see tomorrow night between Quinnipiac and Yale for the championship?
It's going to be a fantastic game. Obviously, there's a really good rivalry between two teams, and we're both very hungry to win. If we do the things we do well, I think we'll be okay.
Best of luck, Dan. Thanks for joining us.
Very much. Thank you.
And Steve, you once tried to get into Yale. Is that right?
No. I tried to get a job with the Yale Lock Company. And that didn't work either.
They wouldn't give you any keys. Those two campuses, Yale and Quinnipiac, are only 10 miles apart.
Yeah, I know.
They're 10 miles apart. They had to come to Pittsburgh to play for the title. But that's because with the Frozen Four is a great event. And it's quite a story that those two schools, you figure the powerhouses that normally are, the Boston College or Boston University or Minnesota, Wisconsin, those types of schools would be playing for. Denver's won it back-to-back years. And
well, Yale cost me my high school football career.
They did.
Because I was a freshman, and I knew I wasn't going to play, so on a Saturday, I just went with some folks down to a Yale football game, and they caught me doing it. Oh, boy. I got kicked off the team.
Garrett Jones strikes out. The Yale Bowl is kind of a big, ancient, old stadium.
Oh, yeah. It's too much of a temptation. It's not good when you skip your high school team's bus, and then your car you're going to Yale with passes the bus going up a hill, and they see you. It's not good.
There's Russell Martin. He likes his hockey. Whichever team wins tomorrow night, it'll be their school's first ever national championship in hockey.
It'll be a great day in Connecticut, as it will when the Lady Huskies from UConn crush somebody in the championship game. When is that? Was that? Oh, they did.
Yeah. You know, the Beatles broke up, Steve. Did you know that? We landed
I know.
on the moon,
I
too.
got caught up in hockey. I know. They crushed him. Gino got him.
The eighth title for them.
I don't think it was last week. I think it was Tuesday night.
There's a 2-1 coming to Russell Martin. And Martin led a contingent of Bucks players to a Pens game recently. Day after opening day, the team had an off day and Penguins were home. Then a bunch of guys got together and went. And Martin to the left side of the infield. Kozar throws him out. 2 gone for the Pirates in the 5th. Well, the next Sunday Night Classic, Frank Pietrangelo makes the save in the first round of the 1991 playoffs against the Devils to keep the Penn Stanley Cup hopes alive. You'll hear from Frank Pietrangelo, Phil Bourque, Bob Airey, Peter Taglianetti, and Steige too.
Oh, that's incredible. That's
amazing.
That's almost 2 saves on one play.
Relive Game 6, Sunday Night Classic, Sunday at 8 on Root Sports. That net was wide open. Pedro Alvarez looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 2. Big cut. Well, he improvised, he adapted, he overcame. Here's the Free Shirt Friday t-shirt for a hat.
Creative right there, I'll tell you that.
And a base hit for Pedro. He drops it in the opposite field. 1 for 3 tonight for the Pirate third baseman.
Lotto got a hit over there. Another Reds player got a hit over there. Pedro. They're going to have to abandon all this shifting. Good way to do it. Ball down and away. Here's the shift. Here's the hit. You go, Pedro. I don't think they're going to give up all the shifting.
No, I think we're going to see some adjustments as time goes on. If you play, especially in your division, a guy keeps hitting away from it, you're going to get out of it. So you have to. I still recall the time a couple of seasons ago, it was 3 seasons ago now, when the Diamondbacks put a big shift on Garrett Jones, and he finally just said, "That's enough." He took a bunt, bunted down the third base side. They didn't shift on him again after that. But that's what the team hopes you do. If they can't get you out, at least punt for a base hit instead of getting a double or a home run.
Keep them in the ballpark. Different situations call for different approaches by the hitters when they put the shift on.
Jonesy hasn't done it since. You know, he's talked about it, and a number of players have talked about it. They've shown bunt when there's been a big shift like that, but some players who are power hitters just won't take their base hit. Snyder toward the gap, but it's cut off by Heisey. And the Pirates are done. Nothing across, 1 hit and 1 left. On to the 6th, 5-2 Buccos. Right shots for the AGH cam as we look atop the Clemente Bridge. 5 runs on 9 hits for the Bucks, 2 runs on 4 hits for Cincinnati. A little bit of wind, but it's not as much as it was earlier.
No, it's just gotten colder to balance it off.
Yeah. Jay Bruce puts this one toward the north side notch, but Starling Marte, way in front of the track, will make the catch. One pitch, one swing, 1 out in the Cincinnati 6th.
And how nice would it be for AJ to have a nice, tight, quick, efficient inning? Run up a pretty decent pitch count. It's not alarming, no red flag. Doing just fine so far.
Hanahan had a base hit in the 4th inning. He's also walked. Base safely twice. Pretty good average at .571, but primarily has been a pinch hitter in the early part of the season with 3 pinch hits. Martin trying to hold the glove there, but
now we're going to shift.
Yeah, now a shift with the 2-0 count as AJ looks over at Pedro going over to the second base side of the bag. And you saw Hanahan square to bunt. Maybe he might take his bunt.
Yeah, we look at different situations when you want to just drop down a bunt and take the base hit, or you want to do more damage. There's 1 out. You're getting toward the bottom of the batting order. Well,
Hanahan says, I'll take that again. Second time he's had a hit over there against the Pirates shift.
what are you going to do? There's the other side of the coin. That's a 4th pitch for 2 out situation if they don't shift. But you know, that's hindsight. Now the proof of the pudding will be now he's gone that way twice. He comes up again. If he comes up again, will they do that again, or will they go more traditional? We're looking at charts now. Yeah. Wait a minute, are we going to revisit this or not?
I mean, the defensive alignments come from the dugout, and the pitcher can't really do anything about it.
Well, the pitcher needs to also be aware he's got to almost pitch to his defense too. I never liked that concept. I wanted to pitch to my strength, and but different schools of thought on that. But if a pitcher sees that alignment, are you going to try to crowd him now? Try to take that swing to the opposite field away? More to think about.
Cozart offered, and that's a strike. 0-2 to Zach Cozart, who did strike out swinging in the 2nd inning. So AJ's got him once tonight already.
What a ways out in front of home plate. Whether you break the wrist or not, if you just go out there far enough, they're going to ring you up.
Hanahan off first. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That's outside. Now, one thing that really hasn't come into play yet tonight, and often does when AJ pitches, is the running game, where teams will try to run on him because he does have a slow delivery to the plate, but that hasn't been a factor at all tonight as far as Cincinnati's concerned.
Cozart has an acre and a half between where Neil Walker is playing and Jones is covering at first base. There's a lot of room in there.
It's just missed. See where it was. See that number 4, the gold 4 that was lit up?
That was it.
That was the one.
Strike 3. again, it's the umpire strike zone. It's not the pitchers. Every young pitcher has to learn that too.
Two and two the count, one out. Runner at first is Hanahan. AJ's 2-2 pitch. It's down to third. Pedro to Walker for one. That's all they'll get.
That's all they had available.
Fielder's choice for Cozart. He is aboard. Hanahan's retired 5-4 to put out, but that was a slow developing play because of where it was hit. Walker just had to hang in there.
That is not the easiest pivot to make from the second floor or the mezzanine.
See Walker wearing the glasses. Those are clear lenses, and he wears those to keep the dirt out of his contacts on breezy nights. And I talked about it the other day. He said he'd probably get made fun of by his teammates, but he said he doesn't care.
I know that they'd take off. They'd say, all right, we'll put a pair of sunglasses out so you don't get anything onto the clear lenses that protect your contact. You know, players are like that.
Devin Mesoraco hits it to left field, and on the run is Marte. Marte will not get it. Reds will work on another run out of this, perhaps. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's up the line, and sliding in safely is Cozart. And Mesoraco comes out with a 2-out RBI double. It's now a 2-run game at 5-3.
Ball well hit, a lot of carry beyond the reach of Marte. Cozart reading that all the way. He can see exactly what's happening. He knows when he can turn it loose. And he winds up coming all the way around in spite of a strong throw. Look it up the line.
Just a 2-run game. Mesoraco down with 2 runs batted in the ball game. Pitcher Mike Leake at the plate.
And Leake has settled down, and AJ is he's leaking a little oil here in the 6th inning activity, and AJ is also scheduled to bat second in the bottom of the 6th.
That was the 100th pitch for AJ Burnett. Ray Searage will come out for a visit now.
You almost got to think that that this is going to be the last inning, and AJ needs to get an out here to stay in the ball game, perhaps.
Justin Wilson ready to go. Wilson had really terrific outing on the road trip in Arizona the day that Wandy Rodriguez got hurt. Came in, pitched 3 shutout innings in relief of Genmar Gomez, who had to come in after Wandy Rodriguez.
Very complimentary piece on Wilson in the paper.
He's looked good so far, and he's cranking up the fastball velocity too.
He's looked good, and you know who else has looked good, not getting much attention, is Melanson.
He has pitched 5 scoreless innings, 5 outings, 5 scoreless. Popped up, and Jones will not get it. An awkward angle.
Long trip, yeah, long trip at an awkward angle. Had a chance. Yeah, there's a lot of things involved there with your back to home plate. Where's the wall? Where's the fence? Where's my right fielder?
Well, players do have to be aware of that short fence over there. So it goes as no play and just a strike. On foul ball by Leake. 1-1 from AJ. Came in on him. It's 2-1.
Yep, got out in front of that curveball with the body, never caught up. That's why they hang inside like that.
Well, lots of baseball over the next 9 days. Hope you'll come out and join us at PNC Park. If not, watch right here on Root Sports. As the Pirates will take on the Reds 2 more nights. And the Cardinals come in starting Wednesday.
What do you think here? 2-2. He just got fastball by him. Curveball? I'm guessing curveball.
That'll be Monday, won't it? Yeah, curveball. I lost track of days again. And then the Braves after the Cardinals. Here's 2-2 coming.
No, another fastball.
Shin-Soo Choo on deck. Here comes the payoff pitch from AJ. He got a piece of it. He just does not swing like a typical pitcher who's up there to hit. He swings like a position player. Brad Lincoln was here. Brad Lincoln was like that. He could really hit. He was also a DH on occasion at the University of Houston. Popped him up, shallow right. Snyder will take care of it. Reds get a run on 2 hits. They leave a man and creep a run closer. It's now 5-3. Pirates batting down on the bottom of the 6th inning. A.J. Burnett not in the best of moods when he came off the field just a short time ago.
I don't want to speculate, but could it be? Is it a possibility that he wasn't happy about that shift of that ground ball to get into left field for the base hit? Don't know. Or maybe just wanted to be a little bit better than he was. He was pretty darn good tonight.
AJ's teammates trying to pick him up here.
No, they can pick him up by putting up 3 more zeros. Meanwhile, Mr. Leake has settled down. Mike Leake, after a very rough bottom of the 2nd inning, has put up 3 zeros and has kept the Cincinnati Reds in this game.
Well, Clint Barmas will lead off, and then you'd anticipate a pinch hitter. AJ's night would come to a close. Or not. AJ's got a bat. He's in the on-deck circle. He'll stay in. Thought perhaps that there was a chance. Last inning was the last inning for him with Wilson ready in the bullpen. Barmas pops this one up. And Hanahan makes the backpedaling catch for the out. Well, AJ's going to get called back. So that was the situation indeed. So Burnett's night is done. Josh Harrison will come out and hit. Josh hitting against his hometown Reds. So Burnett leaves with a lead. And the Pirates trying to protect it for him now the rest of the way. 6 full tonight for A.J. Burnett. And the 6 hits, 9 earned runs, 8 strikeouts. Tonight for AJ. Harrison takes a strike count, even 1-1. One out, base is empty. And the 1-1 is driven towards center field, going back after it. Oh my goodness, what a catch by Shin-Soo Choo.
And that was kind of a late recovery. That was one of those balls hit right at him where he had to chase it down late, and did, to his credit.
Well, it looked like Josh Harrison had beaten Shin-Soo Choo on this play, but good recovery speed and a terrific play.
Full extension.
And he almost ran out of glove.
I'll tell you, he's got the right size glove.
And Marte with his 6th straight multi-hit game. 6 straight 2-hit games for Starling Marte. This one comes with 2 outs.
Another knock, and I'd be surprised if he doesn't try to steal second base, maybe perhaps get a cheap run.
So he has now pulled even with Jason Kendall, Niger Morgan, and Neil Walker with 6 each, and he's got 1 more to catch Barry Bonds, 2 more to catch Bobby Bonilla for the most consecutive multi-hit games since 1990.
Well, come on out tomorrow night and watch him.
Yeah, something.
This is made for a running opportunity. 2 outs, not much happening. Get down to second base. See what happens. See if you can get a cheap run.
And throw to first. Take back easily.
I don't know what the numbers are. They prove me wrong, but I remember Leake having an okay move to first base. Maybe a little bit better than average. It's fairly quick. So I'm going to test him with that lead.
Strike to Walker. Neil came through with that big 2 RBI single in the 2nd inning. Walked and scored in the 1st. Had a base hit in the 4th.
He's hit the ball. He's stung the ball twice. I mean, hit it off the glove of Votto. Actually just overpowering. Too hot to handle. And then the first base hit was just a rocket into center field.
Tony Watson getting loose. Jared Hughes and Justin Wilson have already warmed up, but they have since sat down. Now Watson getting serious about coming into game with a 7th. Oh, 1 to Walker. Chopper foul, nothing in 2. So if you could write a script the rest of the way, pitching wise, Watson in the 7th, Melanson in the 8th, Grilli in the 9th.
There you go. And these days, you see starters, it happens a lot. Go 6 innings. You need 3 innings of relief to finish a ball game. And you need that a lot of nights.
Nothing in 2 to Neal.
Because there are some situations, some nights, I don't know, it depends on the personnel, obviously, where you get a starter going 6, you get somebody to give you 2 innings, the 7th and the 8th. That is a real luxury.
Stretch by Leake in the 1-2 coming to Walker, but first he'll throw to first. A closer play that time.
Greg Gibson, first base umpire, emphatic. When they get emphatic on those attempts, then you know it's close. Oh, yes, he was safe. The umpire said he was safe.
The umpire says he's safe. He's safe.
Simple as that. The little question again, is the hand in before the tag is made further up on the body?
Marte takes off here. Reds expecting him to go as Leake continues to play catch with Votto at first.
Check this one out. Sure.
Walker fouls it back. Stays 1 ball, 2 strikes. Double barrel action in the bullpen for Cincinnati, and all AJ now can do is watch. There, nope, he thought he was gone, he didn't go, and Walker struck out. And that will do it for the Pirates in the 6th. Walker strikes out. AJ's done for the night. Pirates up by a pair of runs. Injury update. Former Bucco Ryan Ludwig had surgery Wednesday to repair a torn labrum in his right shoulder. He's expected to miss the next 3 weeks recovering from that injury. Our injury update is brought to you by our friends at Allegheny Sports Medicine, official medical provider of the Pirates. Ludwig had a very good season last year for Dusty Baker's Reds. They'll miss his production for a little bit. 10 hits for the Pirates tonight, 5 runs to show for it, and Tony Watson will start the 7th inning.
His numbers. Not a lot of wiggle room for the Bucs. They've got the lead, but it's a 2-run lead.
He will face the top of the order, Shin-Soo Choo, who is 0 for 3. Watson pitching to Choo here. Tony against left-handers or right-handers, doesn't matter. You can get either side out. There's a strike call. And a 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike to Shin-Soo Choo. Busan, South Korea. He's been in Arizona for a while. Buckeye, Arizona is his hometown now. This is his off-season home. They're just in Arizona, but I figure it's got to be somewhere near Phoenix. I do not know where Buckeye, Arizona is. Any idea?
No, certainly not in the Buckeye State.
Bouncer to Walker. Shin-Soo Choo from Buckeye, Arizona, which we understand is west of Phoenix, is out. He's 0 for 4.
They could tell you anything right now. You'd have to believe it, wouldn't you?
I'd have to believe him. The brain in the truck came up with that one in no time, like instantly. So it's 40 miles from Phoenix. Strike call to Chris Heisey. Heisey 0 for 3 tonight, so not a lot in the 1-2 spots for Dusty Baker tonight. They're combined 0 for 7.
My people have just called and they said it's 53 miles away from Phoenix, not 40.
Is that right? Well, then your people and my people have to have a geography powwow.
I think they said that when there's a lot of traffic that affects it.
They come in on it's 2-1. Yeah, good weather out there in Phoenix. It was really pleasant. It wasn't too hot. A little breezy one day. They had to close the roof the first day of the series because of the dust. High winds and dust. The next 2 games, the roof was open. It was real pleasant. There's a swing and a miss, 2-2.
Big out for Tony Watson to come back and get the leadoff man just with a 2-run lead in the 7th inning to get Choo out. Big first out. Last thing you want is a free pass, top of the batting order, 2-run lead late in the game. We'll circle around that one.
For Chris Heisey, the count is full.
There you go. You don't want fooling around with these 3-ball counts. Good try. Off-speed pitch, got it in there, and that was a good job by Heisey of staying alive. You know he's looking for a fastball.
Checking the cards. And a walk.
And a walk in front of a dangerous foursome coming up.
Yeah, Votto, Phillips, Bruce, and Hanahan do up, and that causes Clint Hurdle to make a phone call out to the bullpen. Get some help up. So Euclides Rojas there to answer the phone. Bullpen coach, and see Michael McHenry, the fort, getting the gear on.
Call collect. They accepted the charges, and here we go.
And it'll be Jared Hughes again. Joey Votto tonight has reached base safely twice, once with a hit, once with a walk. And he struck out once. 303 right now. Still looking for his first homer. There at the knees for a called strike. It's 1-1.
This way you try to grind out a ball game. You got the lead. You got it early. You're just trying to get it to the finish line. Doesn't have to be pretty. Just has to get done.
Pirates got a run in the first, 4 runs in the second inning. Cincinnati single runs in the second, 4th, and 6th.
Good fastball right on the outside corner. Perfecto. got that call maybe a little bit. That's a really good looking pitch.
One out, one on. Stretched by Watson, the 1-2. And Votto looks at it outside. Tried to go back out to get him to fish, but Votto wouldn't do it.
No, he's tough to pitch to because even a left-hander coming into him, he doesn't give any ground. He just holds his ground and he's not bailing out, so he doesn't give you that outside part of the plate automatically. They're sitting out there. They want to keep away from his power. And we're going full again. First three batters. 3-1, 3-2, 3-2.
Joey Votto hitting lefties at a 303 clip. And 220 is actually better against righties at 201. For Tony. Brandon Phillips in the on-deck circle. He's already homered tonight.
It's a tough spot because you want to throw a strike, but you just don't want to throw a strike for the sake of throwing a strike because he's such a good hitter. You still got to try to make a pitch, but you can't try to be too perfect because if you miss, you're really in the soup. A good pitch, good delivery by Tony. Threw it where he wanted to, but Joey Votto just ruined the pitch. Just wasted it.
Watson against Votto here in the 7th. 2-run ball game. 5-3 in favor of the Pirates.
And make another good pitch here.
And the payoff is into left field. Here comes Marte. He dives and makes a sensational catch. Highway robbery in left field as Marte takes a hit away from Joey Votto.
Well, you've seen a lot of Marte tonight, and you got to love what you see. A couple base hits. Commits to this play, doesn't back off. A lot of people will back off and take it on a bounce. He commits, takes the risk, makes the play. If he doesn't make the catch, the ball is still rolling. Really fine play. Yep. Any pitcher's got to appreciate that. Hope the Pirates come back to win this ballgame. You'll come back to that play.
Votto now 0 for 6 in his career against Watson.
Now that turns the half inning back. The pendulum goes back to the Pirates a little bit. Not completely, but in the Pirates' favor. Now Ray Searage wants to talk with Tony. Tony's throwing a lot of pitches in this inning.
21 of them. And he's thrown more balls than strikes. That's the key. I mean, not a good key, but the key probably for the visit here from Ray is he's got 11 balls thrown 10 strikes. And right now the Pirates need to get Brandon Phillips out. Jared Hughes, second time he's up. He looks like he's ready. Tony Watson, first on the scene last year for the Pirates, and just kept on pitching well. The more he pitched, the better he pitched, and solidified himself as a full-time big leaguer. Strike one to Phillips.
Boy, Brandon had to be looking for a fastball there because that was a breaking ball for a strike, but it wasn't a quality location. That was if you're looking for a breaking ball there, you're going to do some damage with it. So I'm thinking he's looking for something else. Got locked up, had to take a strike.
Now Watson ahead of Phillips. A ball and 2 strikes. Starling Marte has done all kinds of good things and will continue to do so. He's going to get better and better and better. This kid is a special player. Snap throw down to first and no tag. Martin with the left-hand batter's box open had a wide open view of Heisey down there.
Yep.
Catchers really trying to pick their spots when they do that. They don't do that very often, but Martin thought that was a good time to do it. To center field. McCutchen going back to the wall. He leaps. It is gone. A 2-run home run for Brandon Phillips. His second home run of the game to center field. It's now a 5-5 ball game. The Pirates' lead is gone.
Cleanup batter does it again.
One strike away from getting out of the inning. And Watson left it in a bad spot, and Phillips made him pay.
See the yellow indicator right there on the UPMC Sports Medicine grid, right down Broadway.
Now back to square one in the 7th inning. Walker going out. He's obviously disappointed with that.
Never stopped carrying out to center field, and now
foul ball on the right side, hit by Jay Bruce. Well, Brandon Phillips excited. I think you'd be too if you hit 2 home runs, including one to tie the game.
And both of them to center field. Nothing cheap about either one of them. Tony Watson really struggling, throwing a lot of pitches, up near 30 pitches in 1 inning.
He's 27 right now.
Paid the price.
He strikes out Bruce, but not before the 2-run shot by Brandon Phillips. It is stretch time, middle of the 7th. We'll keep it here. Check out the sights and sounds of PNC Park.
Follow the bouncing Eaton Park Smiley Cookie and join everyone watching at home on Root Sports as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
As these divisional rivals get together, and head to the bottom of the 7th inning, that's what we're getting.
I don't think it's so good in a way, but yeah, a lot of action and as advertised pretty much. And get started all over again.
Andrew McCutchen facing J.J. Hoover, and McCutchen skies this one out of play down the right side. Hoover takes over from Mike Leake,
who went 6 innings, giving up 5 runs. 4 of them came in the bottom of the 2nd inning. He kept it together after that. 10 hits. He walked a couple, struck out a couple. Both starters will come away with a no decision.
McCutchen looks at a curveball for a strike. .96 pitches for Leake, 56 of those for strikes. 0-2's outside. 1-2 to McCutchen. Right now he's the hero in the Queen City with 2 home runs. He touched up Tony Watson for a 2-run shot, 7th. There you go, got a souvenir. Coach would like to give somebody a souvenir on the other side of the wall.
Yep. You can get on base, get something started here in the bottom of the 7th.
Got back and out of play. Parra in the bullpen for Cincinnati on the left, and Mark Melancon throwing for the Pirates on the right.
Those will be busy neighborhoods till this thing is resolved. 5-5.
And McCutchen hits it well to left field. Back it goes. It is gone. A home run. Andrew McCutchen. And the Pirates are back in front 6-5.
Number 2 for Andrew, and it couldn't have come at a better time as he snuck it over the wall down in the cheap part of left field before it starts jutting way out. And Heisey simply ran out of room. Didn't get out by much, but he got out. Pirates that quickly back out in front 6-5. Don't go away. We got action.
Told you it was a good game.
Yeah, you're right. Right on the money, too.
Maybe Garrett Jones can make it better. Lots of smiles down there in the third base dugout. And that has energized the crowd. Pirates getting their first run since the 2nd inning.
They kind of turned that back around. That breaking ball downstairs got around it, under it, and lifted it. Yeah, he knows it.
Foul tip for a strike.
AGH came, going to slow it down. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but the ball just jumps off his bat. How much clearance, Clarence? Enough.
Just about a row and a half. I don't know, particular relief pitcher is feeling a little better right now. Tony Watson.
Indeed.
Certainly doesn't feel great for losing the lead for A.J. Burnett, but he's feeling better right now. Kutch knows, number 22. Two balls, 2 strikes to Garrett Jones.
Garrett certainly capable of giving us a little breathing room.
Jones to right. This ball is off the top of the Clemente wall. And he is going to go to second base, sliding in safely with a double.
The only thing it lacked was height. He hit it hard enough. We got a lot of this one upstairs, and that's a ball that usually when Garrett gets to it, he rides it a long way, and he got a lot of it, not quite enough. That's okay. We got action.
Well, sometimes the wall giveth, and sometimes it taketh away, and that time that might have taken it away. Double number 1 and counting for Garrett Jones, and with nobody out. And a runner in scoring position. Here's Russell Martin.
Keep it going, Russell. Pirates in with a dozen hits.
And Martin will send one to left field, but Heisey makes the running catch.
Thank you. That was going to be dicey at second base.
Martin hit it hard, but right at Heisey, and he just ran into the catch.
Came close to getting Garrett off second base. Whoa! Dusty has seen enough from Mr. Hoover and make a change.
So Hoover exits after giving up the lead. Pirates 6, Reds 5. Kicking off this Sunday as the Bucks host the Reds at 1:35. Come early for the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone on Federal Street and stay after when kids get to run the bases. Plus, the first 25,000 fans take home raise the Jolly Roger flag. Thanks to Allegheny Sports Medicine. For tickets, visit Pirates.com. That's the thing they want to raise at the end of the ball game, indicating a Bucko victory. Pirates have retaken the lead 6-5 on Andrew McCutcheon's second home run of the year. Drilling it to left field off of J.J. Hoover. Now Manny Parra comes in to replace him. Parra, the former Brewer. He'll face Pedro Alvarez with Garrett Jones at second base. Takes a strike. Parra at one point was a regular starter for the Brewers. Not the case now. He signed a little bit late, signed on the 1st of February, just before pitchers and catchers report, a couple of weeks ahead of that. It's the 2011 season with a back injury, and also had an elbow injury, sprained left elbow. And if you're a left-handed pitcher, sprained left elbow is not good for your occupation. Well, here's a guy that folks would love to see get into the long ball act sooner than later.
Always a challenge. He's going to see a lot of left-hand pitchers. It's going to take a lot of discipline to lay off those breaking balls that every lefty that he faces tries to get out on that outside corner. Like that. Like that. Discipline.
He held up. 3-1. Last year, 30 home runs. There's a guy who knows what the 30 home run season's like, Jay Bell. He did it. Three ball, one strike pitch coming to Pedro Alvarez from Manny Parra. And a man aboard. So 2 on and 1 out. Pedro earns himself a walk. Dusty Baker certainly not happy with that. Doesn't that drive a manager crazy when you bring a guy in, he walks the first guy?
Yep, especially it's a specialist kind of a scenario, specialist kind of a matchup. And now they want to perhaps buy some time for the bullpen. Many times it'll be a situation where you're called in to face one man and get him out. Looks like a great move by the manager, great job by the pitcher. Doesn't work out, doesn't look good for anybody. Except in this particular case, looks good for the Pirates.
Logan Andrusek, who was recalled from Double-A, Pensacola, to take the spot of Sean Marshall in the bullpen. Marshall on the DL.
And this was the case. Manny Parra was in there to pitch to Alvarez. It didn't work out. Now Dusty forced to make another move, it appears to be. Working on delivery, trying to buy maybe a couple more pitches for his right-hander. Does that, but then makes the sign.
Andrusek entering the ball game for Cincinnati.
Authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
They're ready. We're waving their A.J. Burnett t-shirts around tonight. Andrew McCutchen with his second home run of the season has given the Pirates a 6-5 lead in the bottom of the 7th. Right-hander Logan Ondrusek on the pitch. After Manny Parr just faced one man, Pedro Alvarez, and walked him. Now Travis Snyder coming up. Ondrusek, who had been a regular in the bullpen for Cincinnati, just had a really bad spring. Had an ERA of nearly 8 during the spring and was optioned to Double-A the day before opening day. Made 3 appearances for Pensacola, just going 2 1/3 innings. Struck out 1 man. So Tabota's going to hit. And Dusty Baker going to the right-hander on Ondrusek. Tabata for Snyder. With Barnes on deck, and Tabata takes a strike. You know what the name of that team in Pensacola is?
Pelicans.
That'd be easy.
Yeah.
It's the Blue Wahoos. I think they're selling some caps down there. Shirts. Little roller towards short. Cozart flips to Phillips for 1. That's all they're going to get. Fielder's choice for Tabata. And Alvarez is forced out 5-4 at second base. Down to third safely Jones. So runners at the corners and 2 men out. And that's what we talk about. We give you those numbers.
See where it's shaded in. Those are runs.
Let's keep them score. And there are people who keep score at home. I know there have been some tweets tonight from some people who are doing that. So every once in a while we'll throw the scoring out there for you. If it's a tough scoring decision, we'll give it the way that it's called by the official score. Garrett Jones at third. Jones had a double high off the Clemente wall. Barmes 1 for 3.
There's a save.
Well, 1 run's great. That's terrific for Andrew McCutchen, but 2 runs would be better. 3 runs would be better than that. One ball and 1 strike. Tabata with a big lead. Thought he was going to break for second. Had a big secondary lead. That would be a big insurance run there. 1-2 to Barmes. And he rolls it to the right side slowly to Brandon Phillips. Well, Pirates get a run on a couple of hits. They'll leave 2, but Andrew McCutchen launching one into the left field bleachers, breaking a 5-5 tie, and the Pirates heading to the 8th inning, leading the Reds 6-5. with a home run. 6-5 Pirates, top of the 8th inning. And just a reminder, tomorrow's Pirates game against the Cincinnati Reds will be a special Root Sports production on MLB Network. So at 7 p.m. when you tune in to MLB Network for your Buccos, you'll still be able to hear the game called by Greg and Steve. And get Pirates analysis from Root Sports sideline reporter Robbie Ince-Mikowski. So visit rootsports.com for channel listings and more information.
We were talking about Mark Melancon being spotless so far in just the 5 innings pitched. But, there they are, the numbers: 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, no walks. So early indications that Mark is just fine. Pablo takes over for Snyder in right.
Gabby Sanchez at first base.
Looking for 6 outs. Always a helpful reminder. Can't get them all on one pitch.
That's right. How many pitches do you think you'd need, Steve?
It'd be nice to say 6, but when it comes down to case, it doesn't really matter how many it takes if you get 6 outs without giving anything up.
2 for 2. Both singles for Hanahan have gone to left field against a shift. Pirates not shifting on him right now. Strike 2 called. Pedro Alvarez playing closer to the bag, backing up, guarding the line more. Clint Barma's playing up the middle. It's short, shading the bag, but not shifting this time on Hanahan, who has twice gone the other way against it. One ball, 2 strikes.
Melancon getting the ball to home plate 93 miles an hour.
It's 1-2. Even count to Hanahan. St. Louis at home tonight against Milwaukee, another Central Division matchup. Top of the 7th. It's 1-0 Cardinals. They're in a 1-run game. We're in a 1-run game here. Thanks to that guy. And a ground ball to the right side. Sanchez backhands, toss to Melancon, 1 out.
Well done. Good repeat of pitcher's fielding practice that they do every day in spring training. Ball hit on that side of the infield. Make your pitch to follow through. Get yourself over to first base.
Zach Cozart, shortstop, reached a fielder's choice and scored on the 6th. 0 for 3. Average down to 118. Strike 1. Well, Melancon getting ahead. Again, he was, you mentioned it earlier, he quietly goes about his work, getting it done. He did that in spring training, just went out there, pitched his inning, was effective, and he's started his season that way too.
I don't remember him being this fast when he was with Houston, but he's certainly got plenty of speed right now, 92, 93 miles an hour. He did have that year when he had 20 saves for the Astros.
93 career games prior to 95 career games against National League opponents. He's only 9-3, but that's just because of the position that he pitches out of. You're not going to get a lot of decisions. 18 saves, and the impressive thing is the ERA, 2.10. He got him looking. Strike 3 is Melancon. Punches out Zach Cozart, 2 down.
When you throw it 93 miles an hour and you throw it in a good spot, and that almost looked like a cutter. A cut fastball, which is the old original slider. Well, whatever it was nice. Hard to imagine a 93-mile-an-hour slider, but it looked like it cut a little bit.
That'd be some slider.
Yeah, it would be.
Not a lot of guys throw sliders in the 90s.
No.
Reds have a guy who does.
Mr. Chapman?
But that's rare. 1-0. This one's fouled out. Just to kind of put it in perspective, Jonathan Broxton, hard throwing right-hander, loosening up. But put it in perspective, Joel Hanrahan used to throw fastball 97, 98, but his slider was only 87. I say only, but it was 87.
And that's okay because that's plenty of separation and speed.
Two balls and a strike. Two down, base is empty in the top half of the 8th inning on a night that has dipped down into the mid-40s. Two and two. Hardy fans out here tonight. That's up high. And it's 3-2. Now, we heard a rumor while we were on the road trip out west that the weather actually got warm here.
It was very pleasant. It was very pleasant.
I don't know if I believe it. Payoff pitch. And a ground ball towards short. Getting behind it. Barnes, and he's got Mazaraco by a step. Melanson does it again. He's had 6 appearances as a Pirate. All 6 have been scoreless. Bat in the bottom of the 8th inning. And a look ahead at the road ahead. Brought to you by Nissan. Tomorrow, Johnny Cueto against the left-hander Jeff Locke. Cueto 1-0 this year. Game 2 of the series. And you can watch it on a special Root Sports production on MLB Network. Thanks, Steve and Robbie, tomorrow. Tune into MLB Network or visit rootsports.com for channel listings and information. There's Penn's conflict with the Pirates. Go to MLB Network. Now time to prepare some grilled cheese. Got to get the bread, some butter, and of course some cheese. Gabby Sanchez will come to the plate for the first time tonight. Came in on the 9 spot, so he bats first here in the 8th.
And a little breathing room would fit nicely right here.
Sanchez led the club in home runs and RBIs in the spring. Two balls and no strikes to Gabby. Starling Marte waiting.
Starling's been a nice part of this ball game tonight with his bat and a very nice catch at a critical time. And Mr. McCutcheon.
Good cut by Gabby.
These Cincinnati pitchers have large numbers, like Rusek out there with 66, Bronson Arroyo 61.
Toward right field, Jay Bruce. Not going to get it. He just ran out of room. Sanchez with new life.
Got to stop right there.
Which way's the game?
Daddy, I'm cold. I want to go home.
That's the. Can we go to the car?
Yeah. They're going to win.
Three ball, 2 strike pitch. And he struck him out. Well, April 12th is an important day, and Robbie's going to tell us why.
Well, it's Grilled Cheese Day. That's why. Jason Grilli celebrates by, obviously, he's a big grilled cheese guy, playing the name. Gouda and Parmesan, his 2 favorite cheeses. But the one thing that's cool about Jason Grilli is that each baseball, when he records a save, he gets the baseballs authenticated after each game. And there's video of the 2 saves. Those were the 2 baseballs from Arizona when he got the back-to-back saves. The first baseball he gave to his parents at breakfast the morning after he recorded that first save in the second game of the season. So it's a pretty cool thing that he's doing, and he's going to figure out how he's going to display those baseballs. He was actually at Ryan Dempster's house in Colorado, where he originally got the idea to start saving some baseballs, and he's going to get like maybe one of those home plate box displays to hang the baseballs. So we'll see what he ends up doing. We'll track his progress through the season.
All right.
He's a collector. He also collects jerseys, I think.
He will collect the game jerseys that he wears. In fact, in the exhibition game that the Pirates played just before starting the season in Altoona, he started the game, pitched for the Altoona Curve, and then bought his game jersey from the Altoona Curve afterwards so he could have it. Phillips throws out Marte, and there are 2 gone for the Pirates in the bottom of the 8th. Brandon Phillips with a pair of home runs tonight. He has been the offensive star for Cincinnati. He's driven in 3 runs as a result. Here's Neil Walker. Here's Logan on Brusek. Walker with a couple of hits tonight. He scored 2 runs, 2 RBIs as well.
Did we announce the attendance tonight, too? 24,366. We didn't.
You just did.
We're doing it now. We already did. We're doing it again.
Yeah, Free Shirt Friday tonight. Fireworks tomorrow night. Kids Day Sunday. Jolly Roger flags. In fact, the players had one hanging up in Jose Contreras' locker in the clubhouse today. I didn't realize the flags were as big as they are.
Good size.
Yeah, they are. I tell you what, that's a good giveaway. Good giveaway item. You'll want to have that. And Walker down on strikes on Drusick. Strikes out 2, gets the Pirates in order. And it's time for some grilled cheese on National Grilled Cheese Day. Here comes Jason Grilli. A.J. Burnett started this one, and Jason Grilli hopes to finish it 6-5. 7th inning home run by Andrew McCutchen broke a 5-all tie. And Grilli a chance for save number 3.
And Pirates led 1-0 after the first. They lead by a run after the 8th.
He will face a familiar face. Former Pirate Xavier Paul will pinch hit here in the top of the 9th inning against Jason Grilli.
One run to work with. It's the challenge that faces closers so many times.
.444, 4 for 9. Pirates defensively playing no doubles right now. Sanchez at first guarding the line. Pedro guarding the line at third. I want to give one up down the line. And Grilli gets ahead 0-2.
A little soft serve and then a little heat for you. He'll use the breaking ball for the hors d'oeuvre and the appetizer, and then he'll use the fastball for the main course, the cheese.
Grilli's 0-2 to Paul. 95. Parrott wanted that call. Got him.
Back soft after a couple fastballs. Got him looking for the fastball. Gave him the breaking ball, got the out.
One out, base is empty, back to the top of the order. And Shin-Soo Choo, he's 0 for 4.
Wouldn't mind having Jason do it 1, 2, 3 so you stay away from Votto, Phillips, Bruce. Bring him back tomorrow.
And the 1-0. And the strike is called.
It's really good to see that Jason just doesn't say, oh, well, I'm a closer now, I have to just blow everybody away. He's shown the off-speed pitches here.
You still have to pitch.
Yep, make pitches, not one pitch. And it's a great follow-up when you can follow that breaking ball up with 93, 94 miles an hour.
Shin Chu, former Mariner, former Indian. He awaits the 2-1 from Grilli. And right there at the knees. Some cheese at the knees.
And we talk about making pitches and using everything, and that's so very important. Of course, on the other side of the coin, you never want to get beat with your second or third best pitch. So you try to balance all that.
Toward the middle, that's through. Base hit, and the tying run is aboard in the 9th. Fans, MLB.com at bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Pirates baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and much more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Pirates.com for details. There's Heisey. 0 for 3 with a walk. And he swings and misses for strike 1. So, runner aboard, 1 out. Nice tidy ground ball to an infielder would clean up that base hit. Be nice to see right now. Go to first, and diving back is Shin Chu.
I'd be surprised if he's going anywhere. If he ran into an out, then it really diminishes the possibility of getting to your big three, Votto, Phillips, and Bruce. Of course, they're just down a run, too, so not beyond the realm of possibility.
Really ahead of Heisey. And ground ball to third. Pedro's got it. To Walker for 1. Back to first. Too late. That was almost the ball game, but there are 2 down. And now Jason Grilli will have to tangle with Joey Votto.
Tough double play because Heisey runs well, and around the horn is difficult anyway.
It's just slower to develop.
Slower to develop, and it's 2 long throws. It's not a short exchange from the shortstop to the second base. Those are long throws. Third over to second. Second back all the way over to first.
Joey Votto, 1 for 3. Marte robbed him of a base hit last time up in the 7th. Ball 1 to Votto.
Well, Grilli is no stranger to this. You heard Clint Hurdle all winter long say, hey, for Jason Grilli to move up to be the closer, he faced a lot of 3, 4, 5 guys, a lot of the big part of opposing teams' batting orders. So this is not strange territory to him. It's just in the 9th instead of the 8th. Just, as they say.
Ball 1 strike to Votto. Paul Alexander, Kent Tekulve, they are getting ready to break this one down for you on Pirates post game. They've been staying warm.
They're out by those heaters.
At least trying to stay warm. A 1-1 to Votto from Grilli. 2-1.
You know, not only does he only have the 94-mile-an-hour fastball, but it's almost spring-loaded. He's got that quick release.
That's it, man. And now the Reds down to their final strike. Everybody's up. A one-run ball game. 6-5. 2 outs in the ninth. Really set. The 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. 3-2. Throw down to first, and Runner Heisey almost.
Did they appeal? Yeah. Okay. Now they're appealing. And they needed to appeal because he started the swing and apparently got it back in time.
Really wanted it. So he's got to do it on this 3-2 pitch with the runner Heisey taking off. Ball 4. And without walk, the tying run is in scoring position. Now the potential go-ahead run at first. And he's got to face Brandon Phillips, who has hit 2 home runs tonight. In the second inning, Phillips to dead center field for a solo shot. And then in the 7th inning, with Heisey aboard, and the Pirates leading by 2. Well, they don't lead by 2 anymore at that point. It was 5-5. And so Brandon Phillips with 2 outs in the ninth up there for the Reds, hitting .326. Good speed at second base and Heisey. And a strike. For the second time, down to their final strike.
Fastball, then the slider. A couple of pitches to play with here to try to get him to hit your pitch. And there is a time where you can try to make a perfect pitch or 2.
Couldn't get the chase he was looking for. Good stop by Martin.
Being out in front 0-2, you have the luxury to try to make a bad pitch close enough where they can't afford to take it.
Gurley against Phillips. And Martin needs to go out and have a word. Time to get this one right. Jason Grilly struck out Xavier Paul to start the inning. Spencer Chu had a base hit. Heisey, based on a fielder's choice, Chu was forced at second. Votto walked with 2 outs. Just got past Martin, but nobody able to move up.
Those are scary. When they get back, you don't know where they are. When they're out in front, they can go a good ways, but you've got a handle on them. When they're getting back here. Okay, so those are the 2 we're talking about. The luxury tries when you're out in front 0-2 to get him to chase. Now it gets down to cases.
Here comes the 2-2 from Gurley to Phillips. Did he go? No. Greg Gibson with the call on the appeal.
From the side, Close.
It's getting to be nail-biting time right now. Runners will go on the 3-2 pitch. Got him!
Yeah, he went to the breaking ball. Gutsy call. Gutsy pitch. They didn't give in and throw the fastball. W for the Bucks.
Jason Grilli's third save. Pirates take the series opener. Andrew McCutcheon, a game-winning home run. And a 6-5 final score.
And a little redemption against Brandon Phillips for the 2 home runs.
Oh, McCutcheon with the long ball in the 7th decides it offensively, and Grilli had some traffic on the bases, but ended up slamming the door in front of Bucko Nation. 6-5 the final. Let's check in with our postgame guys, Paul Alexander and Kent Jacoby.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. And, well, Teak is